Hey guys, this is Simon with TRADEnPERFORM Coaching. Actually doing a review for the room on a new trade setup. And it's actually not a new trade setup. I'm going to bring particular attention to it. It's on the ES trade, right? Requires a little bit more attention to detail because it's not quite as automated as we want it yet, but it's a very powerful trade and gives a great setup. So here we go. I'm going to focus. It has very specific details, and I'm going to go on it step by step. Right now, I'm just going to focus on an ES chart. This is an ES chart with an 8-tick Renko bar. I use the Renko bars because they give more detailed information about what's going on within the bar as opposed to a 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute chart, right? Which I also use for other information. If you'd like to have a trial to the room, simply send me an email to this address here. TRADEnPerform@gmail.com. The room costs $95 per month to have access to the market preview, the live trading room, and team communication Slack channel throughout the day. If you would like the algos on your desktop using Sierra Chart, it's $250 a month. Pretty straightforward. And so let's jump into it. So what you'll see here, guys, is I've removed a couple of algos off the screen, right? I've removed the no supply, no demand. So that takes away one of our edges that we have, but it also cleans up the chart. So all I'm focusing on this step one video, is using the triangle stop out trade, right? So we're going to go and we're going to look at 8:30 in the morning and move forward from there. So what I am looking for is I have a triangle up. I will try to tighten these up here today and get a new set of charts out to the members. So the first thing I want to see is a triangle up. So actually, I'm going to start a little bit before 8 o'clock. So see this triangle up here, and then so that's step one, right? And what I want to do is mark off the point of control of that bar. That's the white line right there. That's automatically done for us. Now, what I want to see when that occurs. So remember, this is 8:30, so we get one of those bastardized bars right at 8:30. But what I want to see is that the point of control gets established. We then trade price behind, and then price simply closes above. I don't even need the point of control above, just price closes above. This took a little stutter step, so technically if you had too tight a stop in, this required 2 entries, but that was your entry, and you're always trading in the same direction. So what you want is the point of control stopped out, right, and then regain. You still have to pick a direction, right? That doesn't help us in this particular case. So I'm going to go step by step. Let's say I thought this was short. And let's actually go to Friday morning. Excuse me, I apologize. Let's get to the end. Since we had somewhat of a two-way market, we'll go to 8:30. Here we are. And so you'll see at 8:30 we just opened up. And actually, if you look all the way over to the left, right, what we wanted was this point of control stopped out. I don't think it got it. Oh, it did. There you go. Perfect. Trades behind the point of control. Excuse me, it's not even that bar. Sorry, I gave the wrong setup. That's an even better setup, but I'll cover that later. Point of control trades behind, right? The price, let me be clear, price trades behind the point of control of the bar with the down triangle. So this is the down triangle. Price trades behind it. Again, I'm focused on that 8:30. And then price trades back underneath it. That's all I need for this entry, right? So then we go down, and I'm looking for my next trade. So I'm going to go through this in series, right? So as I'm going through in the bars, if I was trading, right, this would have been my next potential bar here, right, with the triangle up. You'll see price clearly traded behind, but it never traded back above. No signal there. This becomes my next potential trade, right? So you'll see I'm following one process as I'm going through. So price is traded behind. Price is traded above. So I'd be long on this bar, right at the close of that bar. As soon as I see that price is going to close back above the point of control, I want to see price is traded underneath the point of control. And make sure everyone can see this. I'm going to make this really big. Price is traded underneath the point of control. Price is traded back above of the triangle up. I'm long. See what happens to me. So obviously I made it to scale, right? If I entered, it's a 1 bar stop. right? So my entry is 44.20. My stop would be 44.15. And so there's two questions. First of all, can I make it to 3 or 4 points? That's the average rotation. Can I make it to 5 points? So this is at 9:15. If my enter is 44.20, I want to measure my maximum favorable excursion to this point. So far, it's 44.25.50. So I have a 1-to-1 RR so far, right? I have no short setup yet. And now you can see I've made it to 44.28. I've exceeded the 1-to-1 RR. And you'll see in that process, right? So remember, I'm not trying to pick off every single, I want to make sure, I'm always looking to pick off the triangle up or the triangle down off an apex, right? I want to see some type of visual up, down, back and forth give. I'm not trying to capture every triangle in here, right? So this is what I'm looking for, is near the apex to get that entry stopped out, right? So now I get it. So ideally, if we were scalping, right, through the day, you've entered at 44.20. The best exit you've had is approximately 44.28. That's 8 points. 8 times 5 is $400 a contract. That's not bad, right? Realistically, I would have scaled 3 and 5 and left a trailer to see if I got the runner, assuming I'm matching up with other ideas like trade location on the chart or a critical location, or I have a bias for the day, right? I want to be clear, the idea is not to take every signal that's up there. You have to have some kind of bias as to which way you think the market's going to go, or even scalping becomes very difficult, right? You want to scalp in the direction you think the market's going to go. So as I'm looking at this, right, the only thing you can do is get context from where you're trading bar by bar, right? So remember that what I want is to get an up triangle down. If I want to go long, right, if I want to go long, what I want is near the bottom of that long is I want a thrust up. I want to come out and stop out my signal and then resume the thrust up, right? I want that little stutter step to get the launch, right? So right now, if I'm looking long, the only place I have to look long would be these guys, right? I really don't want these. These triangles up were all put in on the way up on this trajectory, right? That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is up, back, triangle up, then a little stutter step back to stop it out and recoup it. Okay, I actually call it a little Texas two-step since I'm from Texas, but I want it, and we'll keep going until we find this setup, right? So nothing here. Now, wait a minute. Now, let's say I wanted short. Let's say I thought, hey, that's an impulse move down, right? And I'm looking short. This is my, from up here, this is my triangle down, right? So I left the star on there. So technically, when this star got stopped out and price got regained, so I'm jumping into stacking up two bars. Technically, I'm short here, but since we're looking for a continuation, really what I want to do is regain this point of control for this setup, right? So as you can see, this would have you short, and you can see that would have, let's see if that re-triggered long, because that definitely would have stopped me. Like, that's the hard part about explaining just one piece when you have it below this. So let me explain this for a second. The star down was still valid, right? So the way that it goes, let me give you these two in order. The triangle first is third, or I guess the triangle down is second, and the speed bar and the star are first right? They have the highest value to me in terms of being captured and regained, right? So let me pull this in a little bit further, right? So what I'm looking for, I was trying to make this simple, but obviously that's harder than I thought. I'm looking to get as close to the edge as possible for a trade. Like if I have this star, right, I'm going to go, hey, if I can catch that star, stop it out on price, regain it on price, I'm in, right? And by the same token, like, but as always, I'm always looking for the idea of, well, where does the trade truly set up for me? Where's the optimal opportunity? Like over here, if I look at this, I'm not always going to get the star on the edge. So I may have to substitute. Like if I thought, hey, look, we've pushed up, right, from the high. If I look over here, right? Like that was your original, this is your original impulse move down, right? So now I'm looking for some kind of retrace within that context. And as you can see, that comes back to a 382 right there. So if you're just trading fibs, you don't need this, right? Except how do you know how to improve your fib odds, right? So what you're looking for over here, when I get on the edges, I'm like, oh, there's a 382 retrace, right? I'm looking for rejection out of here. So in this particular case up here, see how this has already been taken care of. I really want convergence, so that doesn't count anymore. I don't have anything else up here except this triangle down, right? So I'm going to have to make a decision. And the way I want this decision to work, right? So I came up, I stopped out on price over here. I recouped on price over here. And once I recoup on price, right? So I want to be clear what the stop is. Once I recoup on price, I want the stop on the top of that bar. It is a 1 bar stop always on this trade. It's always a 1 bar stop on an 8 range. That's always going to be about 5 ticks for a move to the downside. Just 1 second. Let me make sure my wife and kids. All right. And so as you're going along, right, that's what I want to do. Now, can you get smoked on this? Yeah, just like everything else, right? Of course you can get smoked on this, right? You can get the direction wrong, right? So the idea is you have the direction right. So this is a great example over here, right, where I would have had to take the trade perhaps twice. And now I'm going to show you how you increase the odds sequentially after that. So I'm giving you the easiest entry right now, right? So if I was over here, right, I get my triangle up, I get price behind, and I get price above, right? So usually I want to use a 5-point stop on this. Let's see if my price would have survived that. 40.10, 05. I think that stopped just to the tick. It did. That would have stopped you just to the tick. So that sucks. That's going to happen sometimes on the edge. You had to take the trade twice, right? See how it recaptured, it stopped, and then this time it took the speed bar, it stopped it out, and it recouped. So remember, I know I'm not doing this as polished as I want to, but remember the idea behind the trade is that you're stopping out someone that pushed hard, right? You're taking their trade out, and then you're recouping them for the push to the upside, right? So that's one, right? So, but you still have the entry. Sorry, forgive me. Speed bar, price stopped out, price recouped. And then this time the question is, did you get any of your money back, right? You lost 5 points, right? So if you re-entered again, the question is both win rate and RR, right? So 44.10 pushed you up to 44.27, 17 points, more than covered your 5 points. Now, let's say you thought this was short here, right? Let's say you thought this was short. You're always kind of in this competing, what am I using for my target up here, right? Let's say I thought it was going to continue to the downside. We can see that it went to the downside, right? We can kind of cheat. So remember, it always looks easier afterwards because you have to have the bias of which way you're going. And we're generally in the room pretty good at picking that off, right? So if you look over here, my candidate for trades, what were my candidate for trades? Triangle down, speed bar, triangle down, and star. Why? None of those have been tested on the way up. None of them. So I can put little lines across. And let's see if any of them triggered and what the highest one was to trigger. So if I just draw little lines across, right, I want price above, then price back below. So I'm going to put a line here, a line here, a line here, and a line here. Okay, so as you can see, the highest one that qualified was this down triangle. It's been untested, meaning it hasn't been traded there yet. Price traded above, price closed below, and we know where the price is going to close because we have the range bar predictor telling us. We know ahead of time where those bars are going to close. It's simply a matter of putting a sell stop or a buy stop on the bar, right? That's what we're looking for. And if you need to slow this down, guess what? Just go to bigger bars. The idea works on higher and higher concepts, right? Hold on a second. So as you're rolling down, right? So now comes the next question. What is your trigger back up? So this is where, again, you have to have a bias. The idea is not that we're trying to catch every zig and zag in the market. It's, hey, I'm looking for my trade. I'm looking for my location. I'm biased. I think I have a target down, or I'm biased. I have a target up based on my other analysis, right? Whether I think the market's going higher or lower, and we have multiple ways of achieving that in the room. We're generally not just driving blind. And if we are, we just go, hey, I don't have a bias. I don't know which way this thing's trying to trade. And until I do, I'll kind of be on pause, or I'm just scalping it in and out, right? Man, coffee's good on Saturday morning. By the way, happy Passover, Ramadan, and Easter to all my friends out there. Hope you're having a great Easter. So as I'm going along, right, I am looking for these entries. Now, I'm going to, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you the very best entry that there is. It doesn't, it sets up better on NQ than it does on ES. And as you can see, that took you through the course of the day. Here's the question is, did we trigger long over here? See that triangle up? It never got price underneath and then price back above, right? Same thing over here. And it doesn't always trigger you short, right? You may think, hey, it's mega short over here. And did it trigger me? And the answer is no. It would have triggered you here if you tried to recapture. So I'm going to show you how to fix this in a second. See this over here? So first of all, this is taking place in the last hour. I generally don't trade the last hour. This has already been triggered. I apologize. Once it's been triggered, we throw it away. So see this? This has been triggered. What was triggered here in the last hour was this right here. This star. I draw the line across. Always does it a tick above. Let's go fix that. One more down. There we go. Price traded below, price traded above, and this stopped you out. Like you just didn't get to profit. It went 3 points. Again, I'm not a big fan of trading in the last hour, but it stopped you out. That's all there is to it. Plain and simple. It didn't work. So that's okay. Like I said, by the time you got through the course of this day, the idea would have been here is that, hey, we captured a really great trade right out of the gate, and we were able to take that trade and push it to some kind of specific direction. And if you look, so now I'm going to do something here real quick. I'm going to go to, if you need more signals, right? See how there just weren't very many signals? It was actually not all that active on ES. The rotations died here, right? So I'm going to shift gears for a second. I'm going to take this same chart, and I'm going to go to a 6-tick chart. So sometimes when you need more signals, right? So I'm going to go show you the same sequence. See when we were all abbreviated in here, and it was kind of harder to get your setup. So here's 8:30 again, right? So when you look at 8:30, first question I have is this 8:30 set off again, right? So what's the advantage and disadvantage of going down to a 6-tick? It gives you more signals. It's faster, and you have to be able to shift your brain around a little bit more completely. Same trade over here. Price stops out by a tick, regains it, down it goes, right? Same thing when you look over here as well, right? So see how into the long at 748, this is what you stopped out. You don't have an algo over here to work off of, so you use the triangle. Your entry's on this bar. It's a 1-bar entry, right? You're going to see from the range bar predictor that price is going to get above, and it's a 1-bar stop. The stop's smaller here. On the 6-tick, your entry, let's say you got bled for a quarter, right? 38.75. Your stop's going to be 35.75, 35.50 if you want to do a tick below, but same thing, right? And obviously you get your RR there. When you're up here, your entry is going to be on this bar right here. Again, it's 41.50. That's a pretty long Renko bar. Your stop's going to be a little bit bigger. It's going to be, let's say you got 51.75 against 55.75. That one is 5 points on that one. It would have been bigger on an 8-tick Renko. When you're over here and looking for your trade, right, your long in this case is going to get set up off of this bar, right? So remember, every time we're doing this, we're resetting, right? You don't have to trade the idea is not to trade 1,000,000 times a day. But let's say you thought that's the stop out, that's the long. Early in the morning, I want to be long. This is my signal. Price below. Your long is actually going to be on this bar right here. Let's erase this. So this is literally as coaching as I can get without looking at your um, without looking at each individual's specific trade. Your entry is going to be 44.3350. I'm going to say that again, 44.3350. Your best you could have done on that trade would have been 44.37, and your risk on that trade was 3 points, 30.50 to 33.50. Let's say 3.25. And again, you're able to get 4 points on that trade. That's better than 1-to-1 RR, which is critical. High win rate, good RR, right? And if you can actually match up the locations where it'll launch, even better. Again, this is a great setup right here, and this is what I wanted to show y'all, is when we do this quick stutter step, see how we came down? Like, this is beautiful. See how you've got an AB? Let me draw this out. You end up with an ABCD, right? AB, those are almost equal length. Maybe not perfect, but pretty close. You get this triangle up right here. Put a line on the triangle. Okay, I'm going to make that big so everyone can see it. Price gets stopped out. Price gets regained, right? And you can see when it's, if you're a scalper, how this is really can let you go both ways. I don't encourage the scalping. If you're good at it, that's great. A lot of people don't have the, I mean, everyone has a different skill set, right? Some people are great at one thing, not great at another. You got to find where your place is within trading, right? Not everyone's a day trader, right? On any time frame. Some people are just investors, and that's okay. Day trading's not easy, right? It takes work, dedication, focus. The whole bullshit about, oh, it's easy and you can come in. No, this takes work, your time, if nothing else, right? Because you got to sit and wait for the setup. So you should be really serious about it. If you're investing your time in this, your time's your most valuable asset. You can't get it back. You can't remake it. You don't get any more of it, right? And very, very valuable thing. And so I don't like mine wasted. I certainly don't intend to waste anyone else's, right? So let's say your basis was, hey, we're going to move to the upside over here, and let's see how this would. We already know that Friday that this date was a short date. So I want to show what would it look like if I was trading counter. So obviously this trade worked perfectly, right? But if I was trading long, one of the things I might do is I might go, hey, I really want to capture a long side trade, right? Well, I get this speed bar, or I have two things. First of all, this triangle down, right? Price gets underneath, price closes above. Does it go to scale? Yes, it does. Remember, when your risk is 3 points, 3 points is a 1-to-1 RR, right? If you're discussing, we're not discussing whether the market's going to go from 44.19 to 44.50 or 44.60. That is not the objective here. There's nothing wrong with that objective. If you can do that and line up your micro entry with a macro target, that's fantastic. But we're just asking one very basic question. Can I get an accurate entry? Can I get my 1-to-1 risk reward off? And then I can see what happens from there. I care about getting as close to 1-to-1 on a trade as I possibly can, right? So again, as you look through this process, off to the right, and I'm going to look over here, I've got one. Again, price stopped out, price regained. Off we go to the races, right? Again, right over here on the speed bar. Remember, I want the virgin speed bars. So this leaves me with a new speed bar. Point of control, you'll notice, is right here. So remember, this is already got, if I'm going to keep being aggressive, right, I'm taking the higher high. Again, entry here. Once again, I'm probably already long from here, right? So now, right, what do I have to work off over here? This is where the difficulty comes in. If I don't treat this as a virgin bar, I've got nothing over here on the right. I'm hoping this gets stopped out for the target. And the reason I'm picking long is I'm trying to show is we were going against the this is Thursday, not Friday, so actually I'm wrong. I apologize. So once again, I'll show you if I'm looking long over here, right? I have a couple of candidates. So see the triangle up? When it makes this when you get a triangle up, immediate stutter step back and then close above like this. Yeah, that's a great scalp. right? Again, you're going to see it over here. You get the speed bar, price behind, price above, scalp. If you wanted the short, you got it right here. Price behind, price below, push. Okay, so looking at this actually, guys, in the room, this improves our entry because we're no longer waiting for the point of control to get below the entire, above or below the point of control. We're just targeting on price. So in danger of making this too long a video, I'm going to do a separate one on NQ. This is on ES, right? This is how I suggest you, this is how I will be attacking ES this week. What's not on here? What's not on here? The no supply, no demand trade. Guys, the no supply, no demand can still be on there. I'm going to send this chart out. I'll probably run them side by side, but I'm going to be focused on this trade this week. Why? First of all, it has high odds, right? It reduces the noise, and I've had requests from several sectors to reduce the amount of signals that we have. So, if I wanted to, I could cut this all the way down to the triangles only, or the stars only, or the speed bars only. So if you're having difficulty and you're in the room and it's just too many signals, tell me, and I will make the adjustment for you, right? I will take the time, we'll get on there, and we will get it adjusted. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great day, and we will talk to you in a couple minutes because I'm about to do one on NQ too. So anyways, talk to you later, guys.